Alright, let's talk about your stance. For a right-handed player, your left foot must be in front of your right. So, what's the correct distance for this staggered stance? This is crucial because the distance dictates the balance between stability and mobility. Too little stagger offers no rotational advantage, while too much makes it slow to move. Why can't your right foot be in front? Because if your right foot is forward, it will completely block your body rotation. You'll be jammed. Your hip and leg rotation will be obstructed by that front right foot. So during play, you must remember to keep your right foot behind your left. However, a common mistake is creating too large a gap, which will hinder your transition to the backhand. In my opinion, staggering your feet by about half a foot's length is the ideal distance. Don't stand too square, or you'll find your right foot creeping forward during a rally. But also, don't stagger it too far back. A distance of about half a foot's length provides the most reasonable and balanced position. Now, what about the width of your stance in this ready position? It must be wider than your shoulders. A wider base lowers your center of gravity, creating a more stable foundation. This is the source of balance and power in almost all sports. When you play, open your stance so it's slightly wider than your shoulders. Many players, especially female players, tend to have a stance that is too narrow. On the other hand, some male players have a stance that is far too wide. A stance that's too wide limits your footwork when transitioning between forehand and backhand, while a stance that's too narrow forces you to take overly large steps for wide balls. In short, a stance that's too wide sacrifices speed, while one that's too narrow sacrifices stability and reach. The slightly wider than shoulders rule is the sweet spot. That's why a stance just slightly wider than shoulder width is ideal. My personal stance is on the wider side, and let me explain why. I need a solid base to anchor my footwork for power generation and rotational force. For all players, maintain a proper stance width to better grip the floor for stationary shots and to ensure agile starts for movement. As a general tip, female players should try to widen their stance, while male players should avoid overextending theirs. Now, let's discuss a critical part of footwork: the braking action of your feet. A player just asked a great question: why can I keep my right foot back at the start, but it moves forward as I continue to hit? Let me tell you exactly why. It's because your right foot lacks a proper braking action. Think of this braking action as anchoring. The foot must grip the floor to stop the body's forward momentum and convert it into powerful, controlled rotation for the shot. When you execute a shot and drive your hip, your right foot isn't firmly gripping the floor. It's not engaged and is essentially floating. During that critical push-off, your right leg fails to plant and grip the floor securely. Your body, just like your stroke, needs a braking mechanism. But instead, your leg action is too large and lacks substance. It's not planted firmly on the ground. If you watch training videos of world champions, you'll see that when they push off, their leg drive is directed forward and downward into the ground. This is a key principle of generating power from the ground up. By pushing into the floor pushes back, Newton's third law, stabilizing the body for a powerful stroke. Every bit of their power generation concludes with a distinct braking and stopping motion. Because your footwork is unstable, your right foot will keep moving forward until you've completely lost control of your stance. So, where should you stand for a forehand drive? You cannot stand too close to the table, which is a common mistake. If you do, the ball will jam you, forcing a late contact point behind your body and distorting your stroke. I usually stay one forearm's length from the table for forehand drives. You can measure this by placing your racket vertically on the edge of the table. Your body should be one forearm away. If you're looping the ball, you can move slightly further back, increasing the distance from the table. But for a forehand drive, don't be too close, and don't be too far away. Standing too far forces you to reach with your upper arm to contact the ball. So, a distance of about one forearm is ideal. Second, let's address a critical misconception. Many players stand in their forehand corner to hit a forehand drive, which forces a cramped, tucked elbow stroke. You should stand near the center line to hit a forehand drive. This might seem counterintuitive, but it's essential. Standing in the corner cramps your stroke, while standing near the center line gives your arm the space to swing freely outside your body's frame, generating more power. This positions your stroke outside the frame of your body, giving you space. If you occupy the forehand corner, you leave no room for your arm and are forced into a constricted stroke that can't be fully executed. The forehand drive is the foundation of your game, like a horse stance in martial arts. Every detail must be correct, or your entire game will be unstable. For the forehand drive, position your body's center of gravity at the table's center line, with your hitting arm in the forehand half. This maximizes your hitting space. Third, on stance variations. While modern table tennis has various stances, the fundamental stance for right-handers is left foot forward, right foot back. Here's a key detail: don't point your toes and knees straight ahead. For a forehand, point your right toes and knee towards the right front corner. Opening up your foot like this facilitates a much smoother body rotation. By pointing the foot and knee outward, you are preloading your hip for rotation. This small adjustment unlocks a greater and more natural range of motion for your torso. Otherwise, with your foot facing forward, your body will easily get jammed. So that's the complete ready position. Your central location, your distance from the table, your foot placement, and the coordination of your center of gravity. In table tennis, your stance and ready position are paramount. They define your entire presence at the table. Many players actually have a good-looking arm stroke, but because they stand up straight, their movement appears rigid and stiff. Now watch, with the exact same swing path, as soon as I lower my center of gravity, the stroke looks professional. The key is that your legs should never be completely straight. You must have a slight bend in your knees. This slight knee bend is a critical element. This is the athletic, ready position. Straight legs are slow to react. Bent knees engage your leg muscles, allowing you to spring into motion instantly. To maintain the bend, you must feel the tension in your upper thighs and glutes. This is a key point. A common mistake is letting your center of gravity fall behind you, with your rear sticking out. This posture will inevitably lead to lower back pain. If your weight and power are all coming from your lower back and glutes, you'll be sore after every session and need days to recover. So what's the solution? The key is to engage your core. You must tuck in your abdomen and let your hips tilt up slightly. When you engage your core, your upper body naturally lowers into position. In contrast, if you stick your stomach out, your upper body will straighten up. With the same stroke, a relaxed core looks awkward. An engaged core looks coordinated and athletic. So you must engage your core to lower your upper body. Once lowered, don't puff your chest out. Instead, you need to keep your shoulders slightly rounded and contained. Contained means your shoulders move as a single unit with your torso, not independently. Think of your torso and shoulders as a solid block that rotates together, providing a stable platform for your arm. Keep the shoulders contained during the backswing, and keep them contained through the follow-through. They should remain contained as part of a compact unit. Your shoulders should not move back and forth independently. This feeling of being held together is what creates a compact and efficient stroke. The opposite of this is letting your arms and shoulders fly open, which is an inefficient, loose movement. So the crucial point is to maintain this contained shoulder posture. Watch my shoulders, serving, recovering, pushing, they stay contained. Preparing to loop, contained. Forehand backswing and stroke, still contained. A compact body is achieved through four things: containing the shoulders, engaging the core, breath control, and a low stance. When you master this, others will notice how fluid and technically sound your form is. The secret is that your body is compact, which allows your stroke to be compact. A loose frame leads to inconsistent shots because the arm has no stable base to swing from. A compact, solid body frame is the foundation for a reliable and powerful stroke. If your body frame is loose, your arm stroke will be even looser. So, a vital point to remember is to always play with your shoulders contained. Forehand, backhand, serve, push, loop, block, every technique requires contained shoulders. When your shoulders are contained, your opponent cannot easily hit through you or overpower you. Whether they hit with power, high, with backspin, or topspin, you can absorb it because your frame won't be broken. If we don't contain our shoulders, our form becomes loose and scattered, and it will continue to break down during rallies.